I never thought a blind date could ruin my appetite for an entire week, or make me want to disappear under a restaurant table forever. But that's what happens when you realize the guy you're flirting with over red wine is actually your billionaire boss. Yeah, that happened to me. It all started when my best friend, Mia, decided to play Cupid. "Tess, you've been single for too long. You need to go on a date," she said, waving her phone like a sword. "There's this app, Blink. It matches people based on conversation, not looks." "Perfect," I said. "Maybe I'll meet a blind poet who talks about coffee and pain." She ignored the sarcasm, clicked a few buttons, and smiled. "Done. You have a date Friday night. His name's Adrian. He's smart, polite, and apparently hates small talk. He sounds like your type." Spoiler alert, he was not my type. He was who I wasn't really expecting would be looking for a date. But I didn't know that yet. Friday came too fast. I spent an hour deciding what to wear, then gave up and went with a white blouse and jeans. Simple, clean, approachable, but not desperate, Mia said as she shoved me out the door. The restaurant was fancy, like the kind of place where the napkins probably had their own life insurance. I almost turned around, but the hostess smiled too warmly for me to escape. "Reservation for Tessa?" "Yes," I said, pretending my heart wasn't performing tap dance routines. "Your date's already here," she said, leading me to a table by the window. That's when I saw him tall, neat, confident. He wore a dark navy suit that looked like it came with its own insurance policy, too. His hair was the kind that made women rethink their choices in life. He stood as I approached, a little awkwardly, bumping the table with his knee. Tessa?" he said, squinting slightly. "Yes," I said. "Adrian?" He smiled and, what a smile. "Yeah, sorry, I forgot my glasses. You're a little blurry right now, but I can tell you're smiling, right?" I laughed nervously. "A little." He grinned wider. "Good. Then we're off to a strong start." The waiter arrived, overly cheerful, and called us lovebirds, which almost made me choke on my water. Adrian laughed. That low, easy laugh that makes you want to laugh too, even when you don't know the joke. "So," he said, "how blind is your blind date?" I blinked. "Sorry?" "I forgot my glasses," he said, pointing to his face. "So this is literally a blind date." "Oh," I laughed, relieved. "Then I guess I'll be your guide tonight." "Perfect," he said, leaning in. "Just don't let me walk into a waiter again." As we started talking, I realized how easy he was to talk to. He didn't brag, didn't dominate the conversation. He asked funny, curious questions. "What do you do?" he asked. "I work in operations," I said. "I basically keep a bunch of people from destroying the company." He raised an eyebrow. "Sounds heroic." "What company?" "Cole and Finch," I said. "Ever heard of it?" He froze, then smiled quickly. "Yeah, I might have heard the name around." I didn't notice the pause. I was too busy trying to eat my pasta without making weird noises. He was charming, but in that slightly clumsy way that made him feel real. He spilled a little water, mixed up his fork and knife, and joked about it every time. "I swear I'm not usually this bad at coordination," he said. "My eyes are staging a rebellion tonight." I laughed until my stomach hurt. And then he asked about my boss. "So, what's your CEO like?" he said, in a casual tone. "Oh, Adrian Cole?" I said. "He's, intense." He nodded slowly. "Intense?" "Yeah. Brilliant, but also weird. Talks too much about trains and metaphors. Kind of charming, in a scary way. Everyone's terrified of him, but I think he means well." "Oh, and he once got stuck in an elevator." I gave him half my granola bar. Adrian's smile faltered. Then he bit his lip, looking like someone trying very hard not to laugh. You gave him a granola bar? Yeah, I said proudly. That's my claim to fame. He nodded solemnly. I bet he remembers that. If I'd looked closer, maybe I'd have noticed the way his ears turned red. Dinner went great until the man at the bar yelled, Hey, isn't that Adrian Cole? I froze. My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. My Adrian dropped his wine glass. The waiter gasped. I stared. My brain took 5 very long seconds to process. Wait, I whispered. You're Adrian Cole? As in, my boss, Adrian Cole? He rubbed the back of his neck, sheepish. I was going to tell you. Eventually. Oh my God. I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me whole. Every dumb thing I'd said flashed through my head, the jokes, the granola story, calling him weird. He leaned forward, voice soft. Hey, breathe. I swear this wasn't planned. I didn't know it was you either. Oh, really? Because it feels like I'm in an HR nightmare right now, I hissed. He laughed nervously. Technically, me too. The waiter came back, beaming. Dessert for the lovely couple? We both said. No. At the same time, after dinner, we walked outside. It was quiet, awkward, and kind of cold. I hugged my cardigan tighter. I'm really sorry, he said. I just wanted one normal conversation without being treated like a company logo. I sighed. And I wanted one normal date without accidentally flirting with my billionaire boss. He chuckled. Fair enough. Then he looked at me, serious now. For what it's worth, I had a really good time. You're funny, smart, and you didn't treat me like a trophy. You treated me like a person. That hit harder than I expected. I had a good time too, I admitted, blushing. Even if I'm going to be HR gossip for a month. He smiled. Then let's do the responsible thing, report it to HR tomorrow. We'll tell them it was an accident, and we'll behave. Behave? I asked. Like monks, he said. I laughed. Oh yeah, that's going to last about a day. The next morning, HR scheduled a meeting. The woman in charge, Daria, looked at us like we were 2 kids caught cheating on a test. So, she said, you accidentally went on a date. Yes, I said quickly. Total accident. He didn't know. I didn't know. Fate's fault. Fate's fault, she repeated dryly. How romantic. Adrian tried to look professional. We'll keep things appropriate. No bias. No special treatment. Daria nodded slowly. Good, because I'm watching both of you. Then she smirked. But honestly, I love this story. The next few weeks were torture. Everyone in the office knew. Some people whispered. Some just smiled too much when they saw me. My team nicknamed me Granola Girl. Adrian kept his distance in meetings, but he couldn't hide the small smiles whenever our eyes met. Once, he accidentally emailed me instead of HR. Subject line, policy update. Body. I miss the restaurant bread. I replied, HR would kill you. He wrote back, worth it. I laughed out loud at my desk, earning suspicious stares. A few months later, we both got assigned to a new project, one I had secretly proposed through an anonymous memo. It was called The Workshop, an idea market for employees to pitch solutions no matter their rank. When Adrian found out it was me, he nearly choked on his coffee. You wrote that memo? Yeah, I said. You actually read it? I read it 3 times, he said. It was brilliant. We started working together more carefully, professionally, and somewhere between endless emails and late meetings, the awkwardness melted away. He'd drop by my desk with terrible jokes. I'd tease him about his old black turtlenecks that made him look like a movie villain. He laughed easily now, less like a CEO, more like a man learning to breathe again. Sometimes I caught him watching me during presentations, smiling faintly like he couldn't believe I was real. And honestly, I felt the same. When the project finally launched, it was a huge success. Employees loved it. The board praised it. Adrian gave a speech about innovation and teamwork, but his eyes kept finding me in the crowd. Afterward, he came over and said quietly, "We did it." "We did," I said. "No HR violations either." "Miracle," he said, grinning. "Now, can I take you out again? Officially?" "Officially?" I teased. "Like, on paper?" "I'll CC HR if it makes you feel better." I rolled my eyes. "Fine. But no fancy restaurants this time." He took me to a small diner instead. Greasy tables, loud music, the opposite of our first date. "This feels right," he said, handing me fries. "Less billionaire, more human." "Yeah," I said, "also cheaper." He laughed, full and free. "You know, I think that's why I like you, Tessa." "Why? Because I like fries?" "Because you make everything simple," he said softly. "You make me forget I'm supposed to be important." That night, he walked me home. We stopped under a streetlight. He hesitated, like he was asking permission with his eyes. "Is this HR approved?" I whispered. He smiled. "Maybe not, but I'm willing to risk it." And then he kissed me soft, unsure, and perfect. We didn't hide it anymore. HR rolled their eyes but eventually gave up. The office gossip died down, replaced by real work and laughter. Months later, at the same restaurant where it all started, he surprised me with dinner. Same table, same warm light. The waiter recognized us instantly. "Ah, the lovebirds return." I blushed. "We were never lovebirds." Adrian winked. "We are now." They brought out dessert with chocolate letters that said, "Remain boring." Daria definitely had something to do with that. We laughed until we cried. Looking back, it's funny how the most embarrassing night of my life turned into the best thing that ever happened to me. I went on a blind date expecting an awkward evening with a stranger. Instead, I found someone who saw me, not as an employee, not as a name on a report, but as a person. A clumsy, nervous, granola-sharing person who just happened to make her billionaire boss fall in love. Congratulations for watching so far, so drop your name in the comment section and what you want people to know about you, how you found the love of your life, and sure, you'd be lucky I made my next video with your name. So hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on what's coming next.